Let's break down these developments now and how they could affect the banking sector. Joining us, Matt McCormick. He's a banking analyst and portfolio manager with Ball & Gaynor, and Andrew Stoltmann back with us, partner at the Stoltmann Law Offices. Thank you both for joining us. Matt, why do you think Wells Fargo is at fault in this case?
Hi, Bill. I think Wells Fargo is at fault for three reasons. First, it's the biggest loan originator. It's a mortgage machine, so it's natural that they're going to have the most complaints. Second, it appears that they have not lived up to their end of the agreed-upon bargain, and it looks like they're going to get penalized for that. Third, and I think most importantly, is Wells Fargo does not understand that banks today are no longer allowed to negotiate with the government in good faith. They're only supposed to pay fines. They're supposed to smile and say, "Thank you, sir, may I have another," and move on like Kevin Bacon in Animal House. It's not good business to make the government upset. And I think when you look at what's happened with J.P. Morgan, there could be a lot of more fines, a lot more negative PR, and it can affect the share price. Look at BAC, Bill. It's up today. Wells Fargo's down. Okay.
Wow. Andrew, you're just going to pile on here. I know that.
It's just...
I don't even need to ask a question. Go ahead.
Look, well, you know, the arrogance of the bank, especially Wells Fargo, is absolutely stunning. You have a bank that basically got caught with its hand in the cookie jar, almost melted down the global worldwide economy, agreed to a deal, and now it's been a serial violator of that deal with 210 separate violations of that deal. I mean, it's absolutely
Give me a for instance on that. What are they guilty of violating? What are they guilty of violating? What did they do? 210 servicing standards with respect to servicing these loans and doing what you're supposed to do with these loan modifications. They were given a second chance by the regulators after the $25 billion settlement, and they're still not adhering to the deal. It's absolutely incredible to me. Is this
Bill, it's things like, you know, they're supposed to respond within 30 days. There's supposed to be a single person point of contact, et cetera, process to make the situation much more simple. I want to talk to the analyst here. I mean, the way you said it, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?" I mean, that's what it's come down to, right? I mean, you got to admit, it's a pretty rotten place to be where you are just succumbing to the government at every moment, regardless.
And let me add to that then.
Yeah.
Does that mean then that this is arrogance on their part, or is it just a bureaucratic nightmare to try and comply with the layers of regulations that they have to comply with right now?
Or is it Schneiderman trying to get his next job?
I think it's a combination of both. It's a business cost. You look at these banks that are now becoming utilities where their pay is regulated, their ROE is regulated, their dividends are regulated. They have to play along with the game. Look at BAC. So, you know, it's up 150% since January of 2012.
Yeah, but that was in a
50.
tank completely. You haven't had the problems with Wells Fargo and
Yeah,
JP
but
Morgan.
BAC is getting along, Bill, and their stock price is up. You don't see any news. They're not getting fined. Look what happened with Jamie Dimon. He put his nose in it with Dodd-Frank, and you've seen the government pay him back. The point is with banks, they have to get along with their government masters, or this is what happens. You get spanked by the regulators, your stock's going to get hit.
That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. There's a reason why we're still trying to dig out of the state of what happened in 2008. That's because the banks almost melted down the global worldwide economy.
J.P. Morgan gets a call, says, "Would you bail out this bank?" He says yes. "Would you bail out this bank?" He says yes. And what does he get? He gets his nose rubbed in it. He's paying for all these other banks that he did everybody a favor for by saving,
yeah,
okay?
But we're talking about
nobody's
my point to you, Mr. Stoltmann, you think it's ridiculous that you don't think the government is like being a taskmaster to the banks? Of course they are.
Absolutely not. The banks are in this situation because of what they did in 2008 and what they're continuing to do, and they're going to keep on getting hit on the wrist, and they're going to keep doing whatever they want because they're the banks, and until somebody's criminally charged, nothing's going to change.
We're talking about Wells Fargo. Now, you know, J.P. Morgan had to buy Bear Stearns and the rest of that. B of A chose to buy Countrywide. I'm sure they regret that heartily at this point. Wells Fargo has simply been growing to make more mortgages out there, and you just wonder whether the bureaucratic nightmare is such that there's no way they could comply with the regulations that they face right now.
The banks aren't pure on this. The banks aren't pure, but they have to play along. That's what it is. If you want your stock price to continue to go up, you have to play along with the government.
But themselves. Please, come on. I mean, that's coming directly from the press release playbook from these banks. They're in this mess because they got themselves in it. You take a look at other firms, JP Morgan.
You don't think the government encouraged their behavior with Fannie and Freddie? You don't think the government didn't help with this? You don't think they encouraged people to get loans for people who never should have got them? No one's pure on this.
people to
from
blame.
the stock price, you're in a position where you got to watch yourself.
Major person, major entity that caused this mess.
Mr. Stoltmann, the person with the best press release playbook is Schneiderman. He's got him coming out every single day. This man is Elliot Spitzer on steroids. He wants his next job. That's what the story is.
That's unfair. He's doing a great job with limited resources and a limited budget. He should be applauded. We should all give him a standing ovation right now.
So you're saying,
I'm not moving.
Andrew, you're saying that Wells Fargo would just, knowing that they've got the scrutiny of the federal government and various state AGs out there, they're just going to eschew all of that and do what they want to do. You think they're really that dumb?
Yes, I do, because they got away with it all the way up through 2008. They're still getting away with it today, and there's no reason why they should fear the regulators. This is simply a cost of them doing business. That's all it is. They write out a check, the regulators scurry away, and then a year later, the same regulators that are suing them turn around and join their legal department. It's an insane revolving door. It's a great deal for the banks. It's just a cost of doing business.
I will agree with you on that. It is a cost of doing business. That's why Wells Fargo is eventually going to pay the fine, move on, because their shareholders are going to demand it, as well as the government.
But they can fight it. If they did nothing wrong, fight it. Don't write the check. But they're not going to do that because they know their hand's been caught in the cookie jar.
Andrew, you are so dependable. That's what we like about you.
That's it. See you both again. Thanks for joining us. Heading toward the close, 30 minutes to go.